I visited West Chapel Farm probably in the summer of 1977 with my girlfriend Jenny as a recce for a script that wasn't then written. This is the view from the entrance of the farm, just inside the gate, and that's the garage on the right where we filmed the old Riley backing out. This is the view from inside the garage, looking out across the yard. It's the yard where the younger brother was found shot dead. You can see there beyond the barns, and one of the barns had an amazing threshing machine. This, though, is the view inside the garage, and you can see there the bicycle that we used for the film. It's a man's bicycle, so it must have belonged to either Alan or Robbie. So I don't know whether we had to do a lot of work on it to get it working again. Can't remember. But you can see here how the nature is encroaching somewhat into the garage. Little tentacles of undergrowth. But they kept everything, as you can see. They just didn't throw anything away. This is just how it was 2 years after the tragedy. This is shot from the back of the farm, looking onto the outhouses, and you can see here that it was a good view across the orchard onto the house, and that was a view that featured in the film at the beginning and the end. And from the same place you can see across the farmland, and I think there's Dartmoor in the distance. So I was obviously looking to find some shots that tied the farm into its landscape. But this was a good angle onto the farm from up here, and I thought it was very powerful seeing it from this sort of angle. So we have it in the early morning and then at dusk. And that, I think, is the tall of those buildings, I think, is the cider press. This is the entrance to the old cider press, one of the farm buildings, and you can see here what kind of state I found it in. There's just loads of junk in here, baskets and just everything just piled in. You could hardly see the actual press itself. It's a massive wooden structure, and one wonders how many men it took to operate this. There's huge timbers, just fantastic. And the baskets, one wonders if they were the ones that were used for the apples. And those clotheslines, what were they for? I mean, was this where they used to hang out their washing? No one knows. And up the stairs from the press, you have this attic. And I think I'm here rehearsing a shot in the finished film. It was actually from left to right. You can see the cider press down below. We had the younger brother walking up the stairs to this attic. And this window features too, and also all the stuff that was in here. The art director didn't have to do much dressing here because all this was just piled up. All the old newspapers and magazines like this, Home Notes, which had probably been delivered to Frances Luxton when she was just a teenager. And this window, the moth, was probably an inspiration for when we see the younger brother picking around in his history. The view wasn't what we wanted, and we created a rig. And this rather obscured building here is the building where the water wheel was housed. This is the water wheel, huge thing that went down really deep. These cogs allowed the power to go up the shaft, and that went up into the farmyard, under the farmyard itself, to the barn where you had the extraordinary threshing machine. And this is the threshing machine, most extraordinary wooden structure. It must have been quite a sight when the the bales were being forked into the top of the machine here, and the wheat was separated from the chaff and then bagged and taken away to market. So this is one of the outhouses where there's a whole lot of stuff left behind. Sometimes one wonders what use some of the things had, like these feathers in a tin can. What was that for? Some things a little bit more practical, like tin cans and cans of oil. I think there's some fertilizer bags there. And what is this? This looks like a modern sculpture almost. Now we have the front of the house again. And looking onto some of those other outhouses, lots of chickens, which I think they had too. All falling apart. This was the state it was in when it all happened. They just couldn't cope. They couldn't keep it up. A lot of these outhouses were not even used anymore.